Have you ever heard about the birds and the bees? Luckily for you today, we're only going to talk about the bees. Have you ever walked through the grocery store and seen the abundance of fruits and vegetables and flowers and thought, wow, this is awesome? Well, it's largely due to bees. Unfortunately, bees are in a decline and they need our help. I may not be a bee expert, but I do keep several beehives in the back of my field that I regularly maintain. Today, I would like to talk to you about the importance of bees and how you can help not only in a rural setting, but in a city setting as well. So, bees are called pollinators. What that means is they go from flower to flower, bloom to bloom, and they collect pollen and they collect nectar. The pollen they can spread to other flowers, and that ends up leading to fruits and vegetables. My personal favorite is peaches. The nectar they can bring back to the hive and turn into honey and beeswax. PlanetB.org stated that 75% of our leading food crops are pollinated by bees. Could you imagine if 75% of our crops were no longer pollinated? That would be a huge impact on not only our environment, but our ecosystem as well. Janice Silman posted an article called Contributions of Honeybees Towards the Net Environmental Benefit of Food, and stated that rapeseed fields that were exposed to honeybees saw an 11% increase in production. PlanetB.org also stated that one of the leading problems for our honeybees right now are pesticides and parasites. I personally have had an experience with parasites that have taken out my field as well as pesticides. Bees not only pollinate just our crops, but they pollinate bushes, they pollinate flowers, they pollinate even weeds. So these beautiful forests that we have in Washington and Idaho that we're so proud of would not be able to happen without bees. So what can you do to help them? I've heard time and time again people say that they cannot help the bees because they cannot keep beehives because they live in the city or they have a neighborhood, they have neighbors. You don't have to keep beehives just to help the bees. According to NewYorkBeeSanctuary.org, you can do something as simple as what's called a bee garden or a bee bath. What that essentially is a pot full of flowers on your balcony, on your steps, on your windowsill, anywhere you can keep it so bees have somewhere to come and get nectar from. You can also get a shallow dish and fill it with rocks and cork and things like that allow bees to have a rest and to take a drink without the potential of drowning. You can also go to those awesome local farmers markets and support local beehives. Doing this allows beekeepers to not only help with their bees, but maybe get more bees and maybe spread the word. You can also get some seeds. Keep a whole little Ziploc in your pocket. Every time you see a dirt patch on the street, in the alley, wherever you're at, just sprinkle some seeds down and hope that some flowers can come back up. This allows for the bees to have somewhere to come and get nectar, similar to your bee garden. So what can you do in a rural setting? I know I stated earlier about the parasites and the pesticides, and I have had issues with both of them. I have, in fact, taken out 3 beehives because I was not careful about the pesticides that I used. I know pesticides are meant to get rid of pests, but bees are not a pest. We need bees, and your crops need bees. So looking to see if the pesticides that you're using are bee safe is a huge impact on bees. Additionally, with those crops that you have, if you can allow them to go through their blooming season so they can get their flowers, whether it's, again, bushes, weeds, flowers, fruits, and vegetable, letting them bloom and allowing the bees a spot to come and get the nectar and the honey before they move back to their hive and before you chop the heads of those blooms off can help the bees significantly. One more thing that you can do is you can look into beekeeping yourself if you're living in a rural setting. I know it sounds scary. The startup fee kind of seems like a lot, but it's not that bad, and it doesn't take that much time. I spend about an hour a week on my bees, and then probably 4 or 5 hours every season harvesting. What I can do with this harvest is I can sell the honey, And I can take the beeswax and I can turn it into things such as candles, lip balms, soap, even fire starters that I can then turn and build a profit from. This allows me, again, like we stated earlier, to keep the bees and get more hives. So with that, bees need us as much as we need them. They help not only our environment, our ecosystem, and our economy thrive. So let's help them thrive. Again, it's easy to help bees regardless of where you are, whether you're in the city, whether you're in the rural area, and as long as we can try as much as we can to help them. If I can walk away from this speech and I've impacted one or two of you guys to help bees and to help provide for bees, then I've done a job well done. And I appreciate you guys listening today. And thank you.